Hey, what's up everyone? I'm Phil Games, and welcome back to another episode of LWYAM, where you ask me questions about video games, mostly Undertale as it turns out, but it doesn't have to be, and then I try to answer them as best I can or give my opinions on what I think about them. Once again, we do have mostly Undertale questions, and despite the fact that I always use the Ruin soundtrack under that, that is not because I only do Undertale questions, that is just because it is a really good background track. I did actually get one Kingdom Hearts question this week, but it wasn't really a lore question, it was more just an opinion question, and so I decided not to do it because of that and because I have enough questions to answer this week, so let us just get right into it right away. So our first question is from Freddie Green, and he asks, I'm assuming your gender, I'm sorry. They ask, do you think that Undine lost her eye to the Yellow Soul or some other way? I was kind of confused by this question because I'm not exactly sure why you would think that she lost it to the Yellow Soul specifically. Maybe because she has something to do with Spear of Justice and yellow is justice, I don't know, or maybe just because her eye glows yellow. But other than that, I don't really know why exactly you would think this, so I would be very interested to hear more about why you have this theory in the comments, and then maybe I will respond to it again in the next video of this that I do. Undine's eye, though, is just one of those mysteries that kinda just gone so long without really any good solid theories that we've kinda just forgot about it, so I don't know, is it like from determination, or did she actually lose it? We just have no idea. So yeah, good question, because that's something that we really have no idea about. Our next question is from Alexandre Bertoni. I have no idea if I'm pronouncing that right, so I'm sorry. It is our one not Undertale related question for this video, and the question is, do you like the lore of Five Nights at Freddy's? And if so, what do you think happens at the end of FNAF VR? This is an interesting one, because I've always been, not always, but ever since I've started watching the game theories on it, I've been definitely interested in the lore, even fascinated by it, at times at least, but I'm not like that into it that I really try to figure out what's going on myself. I don't play the games either. I watch playthroughs of it and I'm like, huh, that's very interesting. And then I watch the game theories on it, so as far as my opinion on it goes, I don't really have any particular reason to believe that it's anything different from what MatPat says at the moment. Obviously, he's not 100% right all the time, which has been proven if you watch through all of his FNAF theories. He is very wrong on some of those, as he figures out later. Yeah, I don't really try to figure the lore out myself for those, but it is interesting. I'm interested in it. And then we have another question from that same person, whose name I still don't know how to pronounce. If Chara was able to create a second timeline, couldn't they create a third one going way back in the past so that the reset button wouldn't break? Very good question about Glitchtale. Obviously it's talking about, I didn't mention that earlier, but yes, it is talking about Glitchtale. Chara obviously creates a whole new timeline, and this is one of the major implications that was raised on it that I saw mentioned on the wiki when I was originally researching the timeline video, is why couldn't Chara just keep retrying over and over, like die, go back in time, create a new timeline, and then just do it over and over until they actually win. But I found that Cammy has made it pretty clear that whatever happened with Chara's time travel when they died, that was only a one-time thing. I'm not really sure why, but it is supposed to be only a one-time thing. It cannot happen again. Even if because Cammy has said again that Frisk and Chara are both guys in Glitchtale. Cammy has said it to me. Even if he could do it again, it didn't really seem to me like he had much choice of where back in time to go when he did time travel the first time. So I don't know if he could like have purposely gone back that far and changed things. And even if he had gone back in time that far to before the reset button was broken and like convinced Frisk to not destroy it or whatever, that still wouldn't have changed anything. Or rather, it would have changed things, but it wouldn't have solved their problems. It might have made their problems even worse, because then Frisk would end up resetting, and then that would just end up glitching the timeline even more, and then the timeline probably would have been erased anyway, so it wouldn't have made that much of a difference. It's pretty lucky or coincidence or whatever that Chara did end up in the exact right place that they needed to be in order to give Azrael the other locket and make it so that there were two, and to do the one thing that they needed to do to actually end up fixing something. But that's honestly just how storytelling goes sometimes. But yeah, anyway, I don't know exactly why, but even if Chara were to die again in the second timeline now, he would not be able to go back again for whatever reason. And finally, we have a response to something from last week from Freddie Green, who is responding to me saying that I believe that Sans is the same person in both Undertale and Deltarune. It's not even a question, but I chose to talk about it anyway because I thought it was interesting. And Freddie Green says, I don't think Sans is the same because he doesn't recognize you, and most people playing Deltarune would have already played Undertale, which is true because in the Switch version, it even says before you open the game, this game is meant for people who have played Undertale, so this is a good point, but it does not necessarily mean that Sans is not the same across both games, and here are a few reasons why. First, pretty simple, Sans could just be talking to Chris and not actually to the player, because like Sans is new in town and everything, so it makes sense that he would not have met Chris. He might not even know that the player is kind of inhabiting Chris. I don't know. Sans seems to know a lot of stuff, so maybe that's not true. Maybe he does know. It's very, very possible, because obviously the player is talking to him, otherwise you wouldn't have even had the option to say, hey, it's great to see you again, because that's the game knowing that you probably know who Sans is, but then Sans is like, I don't know who you are because he's talking to Chris. Or maybe for some other reasons. Another thing that I've seen brought up about this is that at that line, because I've never met you before or whatever, he's winking, which in Undertale is a lot of times when he's just like, oh yeah, sure, wink wink, like, just like Sans would do. He could just be not telling the full truth and hinting that he definitely does know more about what's going on. But either way, my personal theory is that if there is any direct crossover at all between Undertale and Deltarune, is that Deltarune would then be a prequel, at least from the perspective of all the characters that would cross over between them or whatever. This way, Undertale's endings, whatever, would still be left alone, which makes total sense because, let's be honest, in the whole meta-ness of the game, it doesn't really have an ending. Even so, Toby said that whatever happens in Deltarune would not affect the ending of Undertale. So I think that would make sense for this to be happening before Undertale. Also, I think that a prequel type story would be the best way to get more information about Gaster, which is what we are probably most looking forward to for this. Well, obviously not, but I mean, like, lore-wise, we're still looking forward to all the quirkiness and funniness or whatever, but lore-wise, we are definitely waiting for some more Gaster, and I think having a prequel maybe explaining exactly what happened with his experiment and with Entry 17 or whatever, and how Sans and Alphys and Papyrus and all them are, and the Gaster followers are connected to that. I think a prequel would be the best way to do this. So that's my theory. I still think that Sans is the same in both Undertale and Deltarune. So that's actually all I've got for today. I tried to do a few less questions just to make the videos not quite as long. I hope you enjoyed. Please leave your questions about Undertale, Deltarune, Glitchtale, Underverse, Kingdom Hearts, maybe even Legend of Zelda. Super excited about that sequel, by the way. Watched a lot of theory videos on that. Anyway, leave questions down in the comments, and I will answer them as best as I can in the next one. Thank you for your guys' questions, by the way. I didn't say that earlier, for those who asked questions in the last video. But yeah, put more down in the comments, and I will answer them, and I will see you guys then, or in whichever video you watch. I should probably say... Oh yeah, I forgot. I was going to say, I am going to take a little break from Celeste, just because that last one that I did was so hard. So I'm not exactly sure which game I want to play next. I wanted to do Cadence of Hyrule. That would have been really cool, but that's only on Switch. You can't get it on PC, and I don't have a capture card, so I can't play that, unfortunately. I really wish I could have. My other ideas were either A Hat in Time, which would actually be mostly blind, which would be kind of the first time I was doing a game mostly blind on this channel. I've seen a few chapters of that, and my other idea was just Shapes and Beats, which I have seen playthroughs of. Both of those they seem really expensive for what they are, maybe not, but like Celeste was 20 bucks, A Hat in Time is 30 bucks. I guess it kind of makes sense, but still, that's maybe a lot for me. I don't know, but if you have any other ideas, then leave them down in the comments. I don't know if I'm going to be able to keep up buying games like this. I don't know, we'll have to see, but I've been talking long enough after ending what you're actually here to see, so I will see you in whatever of mine you guys watch next. Bye!